Hi, guys. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Health with Natalie Cuomo. I am here with comedian Wilfred Padua. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah. You know that this much coffee gets me wired.
I used to work at Variety Coffee for about 5 years, and it was my entire identity.
Really?
So when I see you bringing that cup in, I just feel...
Is it triggering?
Not in a bad way. I mean, I didn't work at the one in Chelsea.
Which one did you work at?
I managed the store on Graham Avenue, and I started the store on Wyckoff.
Oh, that's the one I go to because I live in Bushwick.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
Why?
Kinda. Because it's so Bushwick.
It is.
It's like the quintessential place for Bushwick kids to meet.
This was my life, Wilfred. You don't understand. Variety was my identity.
Yeah.
Everything. I dated the roaster for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Everything about it was my life.
Yeah. Well, you've moved on.
I moved on.
Seems like you're doing a lot better than there.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the roaster broke my heart.
Yeah.
The roaster. No, yeah, Variety. Then I became the manager, and I was like, I work in coffee. That's who I am. I was devastated.
I know a girl that she went from being a teacher to working in coffee.
Yeah.
And she was doing those barista competitions
and
all that shit.
Q-grader.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's the same thing as comedy, but outside of comedy, I'm sure people are like, why is that his entire person?
No, I know.
But I think that about people who are roasting coffee and posting it on social media.
Yeah. When I did not get the sales position, I was the manager, and a girl I had hired, she had been in coffee for way longer than I have, but she got the sales position and not me. I could not believe it.
Really?
I was I was devastated. Yeah.
Was it because was it a?
Well, she had been
did it pay more or anything?
It did not pay more, but it was more of
prestige.
It's you. It's my mother.
Oh, what does she want?
I'm recording my podcast right now.
Hey, Mom.
What are you calling me about? I'm recording my podcast. No. Okay, bye.
What was that about?
She has my Zoloft.
Oh, we were just talking about Zoloft.
Are you on Zoloft too?
Yeah, we were talking about it because, first of all, I got to go to the pharmacy today.
My mom has mine.
But we were talking about how it dries your saliva glands out or whatever, and so you're more likely to get cavities. I just learned this.
The problems with Zoloft. I mean, the acid reflux. Do you deal with that?
Is that why I'm farting so much?
I don't know about that. That might be the cauliflower mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it's all the lactose I'm throwing in there. No, but I've been farting like a monster since I started antidepressants.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did you start?
A little over a year ago.
Yeah? It makes you fart?
I don't know. I that's the biggest change in my life.
Really?
I'm happier and I fart a lot.
You're happier?
I'm more capable of doing things now.
It's so funny. I was at Dan's grandma's house, and she had all her medications written out.
Yeah.
And it said Zoloft, the exact same dose that I take.
Oh, really?
And I was like, nice.
See, the thing is, I don't know how old or how active her life is, but if I was my grandparents at 80 or whatever, I wouldn't be on antidepressants.
Why?
I'd be totally fine with not doing anything.
I think I'd be depressed when I'm older.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to look like depression.
Yeah.
But I'd be fine with it at that age.
Maybe.
What do you got to get done?
I don't know. I'd probably take some Adderall and crochet a fucking make an Etsy store that goes wild.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, the coffee.
Oh, Bushwick and how
Bushwick.
Annoying. So I go to get this coffee.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna be late because I go in through not the Wyckoff door, the other door.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
The
Harmon?
one on the side. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a guy with a scooter at the counter.
Yeah.
And I can't get by.
Yeah.
And so a line starts forming behind him. And I'm clearly there before everyone in line. Line starts forming behind him. And then the lady behind the barista just starts helping the entire line when I'm clearly been waiting here. I just can't get by because this guy in his stupid fucking scooter. So I was,
much.
and then the entire time I'm like, I fucking hate this neighborhood. I hate these young 20-year-olds with their like goofy shirts and pants.
They do have goofy shirts.
Yeah, it's I guess I read something about how it's called maximalist.
What's that?
It's like you do too much. Like that's the style of these kids these days.
Oh. I don't really go to like Brooklyn at all anymore, but you're kind of a fashion person, right?
I mean I like clothes.
You dabble?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't subscribe to trends. And I feel like right now the trend is to like, you know, Jinkos are back, like giant, like weird fucking shoes, and like a lot, just being very eccentric and loud in the way that you're putting yourself out there.
But you have like helped a lot of comedians pick their outfits for their late night sets.
Yes, I've done that a few times.
And what do you look for when you're picking out an outfit?
I think it's just something that they feel good in.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, you're really just trying to give them a shirt that looks good and doesn't distract from the comedy itself. And that you want something that like gives them a sense of style. But
all right.
Actually, I wanted to do this makeover show for comedians.
You should.
I still have to write the thing and actually give it to Autumn afterwards. But it's that I think the idea is that like comedians, you're very aware of how you're coming off on stage.
Right.
And I think that's exactly what fashion is too. Mm. It's like trying to figure out how you come off visually. And then especially as a comedian, you're kind of figuring out how to it all comes together.
So I feel like you don't have much information about yourself online.
What do you mean?
Like, so you grew up in Seattle.
Uh-huh. Oh, are you saying this because you like looked me up and couldn't find anything?
No. You grew up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I grew up in Seattle. I've lived there for most of my life, except for I spent like 2 years in Chicago and 5 years
Getting your
here.
MFA.
Getting my MFA.
Yeah.
You did read my bio.
Of course.
Seattle.
You don't even write the school you went to.
Yeah, because I don't want to rep it.
Why?
I didn't like it. It's School of the Art Institute of Chicago.
You hated it that much?
Yeah, it's a big waste of money.
You're like, I don't even want to rep the school.
Well, so I was in the writing program, and the idea was like it was called writing. Like that was your major.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to give you the freedom to choose like what path within writing you would choose. And I obviously wanted to focus on comedy and comedic writing. And at an art school, no one is funny. Mm-hmm. Literally, there's no sense of humor to
it's very
MFA
serious.
students.
Yeah.
So I was there, and then they to give them credit, they tried to like find comedic writers for me, and they hired a dude from the New Yorker that does cartoons.
For you?
Yeah, they made a comedy writing class for me, but the guy wasn't any good at teaching comedy.
Wow.
Like, you know, my 3 years of doing open mics, I could have taught people how to write comedy better.
Yeah.
Than what he did. So, yeah, it just wasn't the best time. And if I had moved to Chicago to just do stand-up and improv at the time, I would have had a better time.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Need to rep that, you know?
Okay, so you were in Seattle.
I was in Seattle.
Yeah, with siblings?
3 older brothers, 1 younger sister.
Oh, wow. So big family.
Catholics.
Really?
Yeah.
No condoms?
I mean, I didn't find any in my parents' drawers.
All right. And your parents are still together?
They're still together.
Okay. And so you started comedy in Seattle, did 3 years first before going to Chicago?
Well, 3 years with Chicago involved. So the reason why I started stand-up,
okay,
I was doing improv for like 5 or 6 years, which, and then I had like plateaued. I was like pretty good initially, just because I was working alongside like all these awkward Microsoft employees who needed to take an improv class to function. So I was like good compared to who I was around.
Right.
But I plateaued very quickly, and I got into this MFA program was gonna move to Chicago, and I was like, oh, well, I need one more trick up my sleeve. Let's do stand up. That's how I looked at it.
Okay.
And then started doing stand up, and I was like, this is way better than improv.
Yeah.
Like, fuck improv. Moved to Chicago, did like one improv jam. I was just like, yeah, let's just do stand up. And then I continued doing stand up from there.
Wow. So when did you move to New York from Chicago?
I moved back to Seattle after 2 years. Like I graduated from that MFA program, left 6 days later.
Wow.
So I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Damn.
Moved back, and then I moved to New York in 2018.
How come you moved to New York just for comedy?
Comedy. I needed to get out. I felt like I was, not to brag, at the ceiling of a small scene.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people will feel like that in smaller scenes, though.
Yeah, and then you move to New York and you're just some guy. And I moved to New York, and it was like it made more sense to me to be here than it was either New York or LA.
Right.
And I came and visited Andy for a week.
Really? Was he like
here.
your first friend?
Me and Andy have been friends since like 2010.
Really?
Yeah, 2011.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I came and visited him. He was one of the first people that was like, you got to leave Seattle.
Okay.
Had a great time here for the week that I was here. And then I was like, yeah, I have no real clout. I'm only good at stand up. So let's move to New York. Let's not try to mess with this LA stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, okay, I never had to like switch scenes because I started in New York. I'm from New York. I've lived only here. What's your advice to any comedians that are like switching scenes? Like, I think when I go on the road, I feel like so many people opening for me just talk about, yeah, I got to move to New York. I know I got to do it. I know I got to go to either New York or LA. And now it's like maybe Austin. Like, what's your advice to those people?
It's going to suck. Yeah. That's what the advice is. Like, I know a lot of guys that moved here from Seattle because they were the top of the scene. But at a small scene, you get to the top so fast. And and if you're one of those guys that gets to the top real fast, you start to like you become entitled. Because you're like, oh, everyone's handing me shows. This is just who I am.
Yeah.
And that needs to be removed to get into the New York scene.
What do you mean?
Like you're going to get here and then you're going to do open mics and no one's going to be listening to you because you showed up and you're randomly in the fifth group every week, you know?
Right.
Like, it becomes like you're a nobody here.
Yeah.
So you got to work your way back up. I'd also tell them, like, at least in Seattle, my advice was like, stop just watching Seattle comics. These aren't the people that you should be comparing yourself to.
Right.
Like you should be watching the best and the people that you think are the best.
Yeah.
So do your research before you show up.
That's valid advice.
Yeah.
What do you think you talk about the most in your act?
Dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the struggles of like finding a relationship.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a relationship.
You
so
are?
It's like, yeah.
Who are you with?
A lady. She's not a comic.
Not a comic?
No.
A lady?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Did you meet her at a show?
I did.
Classic.
What?
Find me a male comedian that didn't find their girlfriend at a show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if this is any different. What is it usually just like a guy is on stage and then he flirts with a girl afterwards or whatever? I don't know how.
No, I just feel like women like male comedians, but men don't ever see a female comic on stage and are like, yeah, I want to date her, because like men are not attracted to women in power and women are attracted to like men with power.
Yeah. I get like I used to get like real horned up about a girl on stage.
Well, maybe because you value like funny.
Yes, and also it makes me feel like, oh, I value funny, they value funny,
right? So
it's like something can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
With any of the comics that I tried to date.
Okay, that's exciting though. So you found it. She came to a show. What happened?
She came to a show. She was there with her brother.
Okay.
It was actually the day after Thanksgiving last year.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was doing checks at New York Comedy Club, at both of the clubs. And my first spot was at Gramercy,
Uh-huh.
which is the show that she was at with her brother. And I did well, swimmingly, as always. And then I left, and there's that pizza place outside, right across the street from Gramercy.
Yeah. Like around the corner, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her and her brother were coming out of the pizza place, and
Ah.
her brother was like, "Hey, it was a great set." And then I was like, what was that? Took out the AirPods. We talked, and she lives right by the like a block away from the one on 4th, the New York Comedy Club on 4th.
Oh, that's so convenient.
So we just walked down 2nd together
Oh.
for like 20 minutes, me, her, and her brother. And then at
That's
some
nice.
point I was just like, do you guys want to come in and hang out at the bar? Because I only have to be on stage for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So they did. I went on stage, did even better there. And this is what, like, so that show was sold out, so they couldn't get into the show.
That's amazing.
Afterwards, like, people, like, this only happens in New York Comedy Club. People want to take pictures with me.
Really?
Yeah. So afterwards, I did that well, where they're like, oh, this guy must be a celebrity. So they're taking pictures with me. And then she's just there watching people take pictures with me.
And so she's like,
wow, this guy, she thinks I'm a bigger deal than I am.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's how it started.
that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
So do you still do you feel like, fuck, what am I going to do with these dating jokes I wrote now that I have a girlfriend?
No, I think it's more like the jokes are more about like, how to stop being lonely.
Okay.
So there, like, it doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, I can't have sex. It's like some of the jokes I have to rework, but
Right.
in general, it still like is very important. Like, I think that's something that everyone's relating to. And I think it's also a lot of my dating jokes are like about how tough it has been historically for Asian men.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that I still talk about that on their behalf.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so tough for Asian men?
Because there was these rumors about us having small dicks forever. And then, and it's hard to refute that.
Yeah.
Also, I think scientifically we might have the smallest dicks, but
Is that true?
I saw something, and look, I don't know if this is like, false information, but I saw something that said that Korea had the smallest dicks in the U.S.
My first boyfriend was Korean.
Oh, really?
He was mean. He told everyone that I was a biter in 2 ways, from blowjobs and because I copied his music taste.
Oh. And then was he endowed?
No, he was not endowed.
Yeah, that's right. Small dick ass Korean.
Yeah, 9th grade.
9th grade?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you grew up in Queens, right?
Yeah. He sucks. No offense.
Yeah.
It's just he was mean.
I don't like Koreans either.
No, I like Koreans. He stinks.
I didn't
He had a cute dog though.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's also against Korean stereotypes.
That's true.
To still have the dog.
No. Okay. So you think that just that is the entire thing, that stereotype is really like fucked with?
I think there's I took a class on this
Really?
in undergrad about
Oh,
how
no, okay.
No, in undergrad about how like it actually was like it was supposed to be a Buddhism class, and then it
ended up being about small dicks.
It all ended up being about like racial stereotypes against Asian men or Asians in general. Like we watched, I forget what the movie was called, but it was something in the Yellow Peril. It was like some old 1920s movie, and it's like where the stereotype started that like it was like about how the Asian men are like trying to take the white women, and then there became like the stereotype that like it was kind of just like we were desexualized for years. And I think K-pop is doing its job to fight against that, but those are also like I don't know, there's like 16 hot Asians, and billions of us that exist.
I don't know. I don't feel like a stereotype about dick size has ever, like, in talking to like my friends when they're dating anyone, we've never, like, no one's ever like been with a certain race and I've been like, wait, but what about their dick? Is it really that size?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I think it might be men that are more obsessed with dick size than anything.
I don't know. I just feel like it's not like a friend has ever like dated a black guy or like an Asian guy and I've been like, so.
Yeah. I remember this one time I think it was my college girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She said my dick was perfect, which is a.
And you're like, can you record that, please?
I wish that was my emotional reaction was, wait, you've had bigger? What the fuck? Because my response was like, I want to be huge. I don't want to be perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, the right temperature porridge. I want to be the one. I want to be too much to handle because that's a masculinity thing.
Why do you think men care so much about that? I just like don't like. I don't know. Why do you think?
That's like one of those things that you can't. There's really is no dick measuring contest because we're not showing each other our dicks because that's gay. Yeah. So why would you do that?
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. It's just there's no other way to prove that you're masculine without. I mean, there's ways to prove that you're masculine, but you can still be like, oh, I have a big dick or whatever.
I'm trying to think of the equivalent for women. Like the only thing I can think of that's like so systematically like put in us is like the idea of being thin.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like the equivalent of like dick size.
Yeah.
Like, do people really internalize that as like being of like who you are?
I think like there becomes a lot of insecurity if you have a small one.
Yeah.
I don't know if guys with big dicks, also mine's medium, if I'm just to put it out there. But I don't know if guys with big dicks are like, this is who I am. I don't even know if like the idea of like big dick energy really exists.
Because when you think about it, you're not really showing your dick to that many people in your life.
No.
If you're like doing life right, you're not that many people are seeing it.
Or, I mean, if you're doing life right, then many are. Leonardo DiCaprio?
I guess.
Yeah. He's just putting on a VR headset and getting sucked off.
Interesting. Okay. When did you know that like you wanted to do improv and comedy and all of that?
I started doing improv in college, but I knew I wanted to be funny on stage before that. I just didn't know. I was so scared of doing stand-up.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, maybe I had heard that like people had written for like, Pryor or all that stuff. Like you can write for comedians. I was like, oh, I'll just do that. I don't know. Eventually I started doing it. I'd started doing improv because I was like, oh, this is like stand-up.
Yeah.
So let's just do this. And then it turns out it's nothing like stand-up at all. But I don't know. I've just always had stand-up in my life because when I was younger, I used to watch BET's Comic View all the time.
Oh my God, so did Monroe.
Yeah. Well, I'm
no,
not
but
black.
No, but like he did my last episode and he was talking about how that's how he got into stand-up. But yeah, sorry, that's...
Well, the only reason I did it was because my parents weren't that fluent in English.
Okay.
And so I couldn't watch MTV at the time because everything was too sexy on MTV.
Yeah.
So if they came in the room and saw me watching MTV, I'd get in trouble.
Right.
But if they come in the room and just some black guys on the screen talking, they can't like comprehend that it's bad or like salacious right away.
Right.
So they walk in, oh, it's just a guy talking. They can leave. And I can this was like the most racy thing I got to watch. So yeah, that's cool. I think that was my first like initiation into it. My first favorite comic was D.L. Hughley.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he's still touring.
Still touring.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is that like the first profession that you wanted to have?
No, because every other, I didn't think it was an option.
Right. It like does feel very distant when you first are exposed to it.
Yeah, it's so interesting because there are people that were like, that is their first, like people, I worked at schools and all these kids in high school are like, yeah, I'm just going to grow up and be a YouTuber. And I'm like, that's your first idea?
When I was a kid, I was like, I will be an actress. I want to be an actress. Yeah, that was my everything.
Yeah, and then when did that shift?
I got really bullied in high school, and I think that kind of fucked with my confidence a bit, and I kind of went into more like, I started looking at like more schooly stuff.
Yeah.
Schooly.
Schooly That's
stuff.
a very academic word.
Yeah. And then after maybe like a few years of that in college, I came back to my roots of wanting to be
a performer,
but it's really hard. I feel like the mix of having kind of an aggressive parent and being bullied at school really like fucked my confidence and my ability to believe in myself a bit.
Yeah. Aggressive in what way?
Just like maybe, angry.
Yeah. My parents never instilled, like my dad was like, I don't know how he's funny. Because one, I'm never funny around my family.
Yeah.
And they don't, it's not something that was ever celebrated in my family. So to like I found this on my own, obviously.
Yeah.
But that made it really hard for me to, even to this day, I'm still like figuring out how to be a little bit more confident on stage or on a podcast or whatever.
Do your parents watch your stand-up?
No.
Really?
No.
Have they seen it?
They've seen me perform live.
Yeah.
But it's not like, they're not internet savvy.
They don't yeah.
Yeah. One of my brothers watches.
That's cool.
And he's a great supporter, really sweet.
That's nice.
And I have another brother that watches here and there. The rest of my family isn't too into it.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's weird because my dad, he's very supportive of the arts, and he's a writer, so he is very supportive of it, but I just feel like him being very strict and disciplinary when I was growing up, like affected my confidence in a way that even though he might not have realized it affected my ability to like be myself, it did. Like, so even though he's like, I want you to be an artist, it's like he was still like being hard on me as a person, and that affected my confidence.
Yeah. I think like I didn't have there's no like nurturing a personality that went on as I grew up, and it just became like there's a way to behave because it's like, my parents are immigrants, they're Catholic, my mom is all she's about is being a good Catholic.
Really?
So like there's a proper way to behave, and if you're it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're like following these protocols. And so that was the only thing that was taught to me, was to like fall in line. And I don't know, like there's even as I'm watching stand up, I'm like, oh, like I've been doing this for 12 years. And I'm like, how do you do it still? And I'm like trying to figure out how to fall in line, but I have to tell myself like, you can do this your own way.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting to tell myself that,
Do you talk about your parents on stage?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to more. There was a little bit of a controversy in my family though, because I had a joke about my parents. At one point, they were illegal immigrants, and my brother was like mad at me because like he was also like undocumented for a lot of his life, and he was mad at me for making a joke about it. And I was like, well, you obviously don't get me as a person if you think that I'm just making fun of them.
Right.
Like there's way more to this. And so it became a little bit of a thing, but I was asked to not tell that joke anymore by my family. And I was like, I'm not gonna stop. 'Cause it's like my best one. So I'm going to keep telling it.
I feel like that's so interesting. And also that's your opportunity to speak to so many people. I mean, there's so many undocumented immigrants or people that were undocumented and are now, I mean, or that are children of immigrants. That's like your opportunity to have a voice that connects with so many people.
Yeah. I mean, I felt the same way. I still feel the same way about the joke. But it just, like my family just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people don't understand that when I'm talking and when I'm saying a joke, I don't mean it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I hate my parents because I'm saying that I'm just talking about the relationship. And it's also, if I'm making fun of something, it means that I care about it.
Right.
Like, I don't write jokes about shit that I don't like or I don't care about.
Do you feel like you can say that in your act? Like sometimes I feel like when I'm doing a longer set, like I'm on the road, I can like, I feel like I have more of the freedom to clarify those things in my set. Like if I'm on the road, I'll be like, I'll like, I have jokes about my family and I feel like I'm more comfortable clarifying, or like my mental health. Like,
Yeah.
But when you're doing like 15 minutes, it's not always as easy to clarify like who you are and like your stance on things.
Yeah, I think that I mean, when I'm on stage, I want to figure out, and sometimes I do, I want to figure out how to just have it come across.
Yeah.
Like unspoken, just, oh, he's clearly joking.
Right.
But I think that there's also like, I don't know, audiences are getting stupid.
Yeah.
They're getting everyone's dumber at these shows now.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because comedy is becoming so widespread.
Mm-hmm.
At a time, comedy was for people who like comedy.
Yeah.
And now comedy's for everyone, unfortunately. And it's supposed to be for everyone. And also everyone on the internet, because of the internet, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So if something isn't for me, I have to express that.
Right.
So I think that becomes a thing now. And so I'm kind of just accepting that I'm not for everyone and that sometimes this shit's not going to go good.
But being disliked is the best sign. Like it means that you're doing something right. Like you can't be liked by everyone.
Oh yeah, I bombed at Union Hall the other day, which is a place that I kind of like bombing there.
Yeah.
Because all the Prospect Park like wokes
right
are so annoying, and they're like, they don't want to laugh at my stuff, and that's their way of taking a stance.
Yeah.
Against racism or whatever.
You're like,
and so it is nice to be like, oh, well then there's something like I'm making the comics laugh in the green room,
right?
But not the audience. The issue is that the comics don't buy tickets to my shows.
Well, I feel like you have a gift of like having this experience of like this very unique experience where you can relate to people and like really make people feel seen. Like if it gets to the right people, like I don't think the white moms in Prospect Park are like the people that are gonna feel super seen by hearing about your story. But like,
sure,
there are people like through the internet that could like hear your story about growing up with like undocumented parents that are gonna be like, oh fuck, like that's me. Like that makes me feel so seen, and that's what's so cool about social media. But like when you put it on social media, then your parents see it too. So it's like this weird.
Yeah, it's also that, like, I think there's a way that I talk about these things that doesn't make people, like, I'm not celebrating it.
Okay.
I'm not celebrating the fact that my parents are undocumented or that I grew up with, like, parents that worked really hard because it's a joke.
Right.
I'm here to make people laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be like, yeah, yay, Filipinos, huh? And I think people, especially Asian audiences, get upset with that. They're like, why is this guy not trying to make us look good? I'm like, it's because it's not about making anyone look good. I have no agenda other than to make people laugh.
Right. So you feel like other people are pandering?
Yeah, I think it's also me making an excuse. I think there's a part of it's like, well, everyone else is successful because they're like, trying to just cater to this audience. But also, like, I don't know. I do feel that like everyone sucks and I'm good.
Interesting. What did your parents do when you were a kid for work?
My dad was an electrician.
Okay.
And my mom worked in a Jewish retirement home.
Really?
Yeah, she was like just the person that brought food.
What's your stance on Israel-Palestine? No.
I don't think my parents. This is the thing. I don't think my family knows anything about what's going on. My aunt legit, like, not ironically, named her dog Bibi after Bibi Netanyahu.
Really?
I promise. This is so true. My aunt and uncle, when they moved here, they had to move to They lived in Seattle, left their 2 sons behind, and worked in New York because they got jobs in New York for a year. And they worked under Bibi Netanyahu when he was an ambassador. And I'm not quite sure exactly what they did, but it was like very much like, they were the help.
Yeah.
But they liked Bibi Netanyahu personally.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, he was a very nice guy. He was like very nice, and he was like really like respectful to us. His wife was a bitch.
His wives.
But he was great. And so she named her dog Bibi after him.
Wow.
Not knowing. And also recently she named her dog Bibi. Not like, this was before all the, scandals and atrocities. Or atrocities. I don't want to demonetize anything. But yeah.
What is her stance on it now? Like, have you talked to her about it?
I don't think this is the thing. My family, when I go over to their house, they're only watching the Filipino channel.
Huh.
So I don't think they're like keeping up to date with what's going on in the Philippines, but I think it's becomes difficult for them to also keep up to date with what's going on in Israel.
Okay. What have you visited the Philippines?
No, I have not.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you still have family there?
Not a lot, but some. And only a few people that I've met before. Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to go. I really do.
I feel like there's so much like untapped of your life.
Yeah.
Like that I want to hear about.
Oh yeah, we should check in with me in 10 years when I figure out how to do stuff.
I'm just like, no, not figure out how to do stuff. I'm just like, tell me.
Like what?
I don't know. Like your upbringing, like there's so much.
Well, the thing about like growing up is that everything's normal to you.
Yeah.
So like, if I was like, what's it like to grow up with this kind of a parent or whatever, you would be like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Right.
But I think there was so much like, so much bottled up in me through my entire life because, the Catholic thing, like my parents being immigrants and also undocumented immigrants because they didn't want to get caught.
Right.
So there's a lot of just like, don't stand out. So I just like didn't do anything to draw attention to myself in the house.
Right.
At school, I like was getting bad grades because I kept on talking and like was constantly getting in trouble. Nothing bad, but I was just like wanted to talk instead of sit quietly.
Right.
So
and now your career is the opposite. It's like stand out.
Yeah, stand out. Figure out how to be unique. And I'm like, oh fuck. Now I gotta find the opposite. Now I gotta find who I am and what's unique about me.
Yeah. But all of that is what's unique about you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That down underneath there's a person.
What do you think is the best advice you've ever received?
This was tough because you asked me this and then I was like, fuck, what do I say? What do I say?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it's just that like stop looking at other people's plate. Like especially, you move here and you're like you develop all these peers and then all of a sudden your peers are selling out theaters.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I'm still moving furniture for people to pay rent. But I don't know, it could work out for me. And also like, don't look at anyone, what else other people are achieving. Just have a good time and try to enjoy this.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I keep on forgetting is that this isn't like, it's at the point where, this has to be a job because we have to make rent, pay bills, whatever. And it makes it less fun.
Yeah. Well, because there are higher stakes. It's like this needs to work out because I want to have a family one day. I want to do all these things.
But then if you have that in your brain, then it stops being like it stops working out because you're just thinking about how to get through it. But this is a job that has to be fun,
right,
for it to be successful.
Because people want to watch you if you're having fun. Otherwise, like, why would I want to watch someone that's not having fun?
Yeah,
unless they're fighting, because then it's fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, unless there's like a drama.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess that would be my other piece of advice that has been really impactful on me, which is like, just enjoy whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if it's just working retail or, slinging coffee or whatever.
Right.
You have to be happy with how you're doing it or you're not going to do it well.
What is like your favorite like stand-up experience you've had?
Stand-up experience? I can tell you a lot of bad ones. I did. So, actually, it's coming out today. My Don't Tell.
Oh, that's
taping.
awesome.
And that went really well. And that was a lot of fun.
Cool. It's coming out today?
Yeah, it comes out today.
That's exciting. You did the last New York one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
God
damn it. I could have watched it before this. I could have asked you all about all of your jokes.
You would have had it. It comes out in, I think, in an hour and a half.
So, well, I mean, I can't wait to watch it. That's exciting. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. But I got off stage and one of the guys was like, I think that was the best one that was the best set we had in New York.
Oh.
And I was like, that felt really
That's
good.
really cool.
Yeah.
How was the show?
It was great.
Yeah?
I was worried because the host, and they do a host and then like a 5-minute set to open up the audience afterwards. Okay. Those sets went bad.
Oh.
And then I had also heard that the shows the night before were bad, so I was like, "Fuck." Then Joyelle Johnson goes on, and I leave the room because I was like, "I'm next."
Yeah, you don't want to.
I don't want to fucking think about this. And then I come back and the audience is amazing, and I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then I went up on stage after her. Thankfully, I used to really get nervous about following someone who's crushing.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, well, I can't do what that.
But you could ride their energy.
Yeah. Well, I never knew how to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do I create my own energy?
Yeah.
And it's also very competitive thing for me in my mind. But after she went on stage, I was like, just have a good time. You got this.
Nice.
And then it went really well.
Cool. That's awesome. Nice. And that was in an apartment?
It was like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Like it was like the 5th floor of some building that like maybe was a studio, as in like an art studio.
Nice.
In Chelsea. I have no idea what it
Fun.
was.
That's cool. Is that your first taping?
Yeah.
Nice. How did that feel?
I didn't feel present. It didn't feel like doing stand-up in the sense that like you're there and you're dealing with the room and orchestrating, everything that's happening in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It felt more like so I was doing well, and the entire time I was like, I hope they laugh at the next one too. And so it was like just survival mode all the way to the end.
Right.
And even though I had them with me, I could not feel it.
Yeah. How long has Don't Tell has been like 2 years, right? I mean, they've really done a good job of putting out.
You mean in terms of the online stuff? I guess so.
Yeah. They've been fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've got like over 1 million, 1.4 million on YouTube.
That's awesome.
So they made Ralph Barbosa's career.
I know.
And so I'm hoping that something can happen for me.
Definitely.
But then there are also some videos that have like 12,000 views on YouTube. And I'm like, all right, well, also nothing can happen. We'll see.
Yeah. But I mean, I've thought this new thing, and I wrote it on the first page of my journal. I'm like, expect good things. It's important to expect good things.
Why?
I don't know. I think
that's like so the opposite of how I live my life.
I know. I think it's important to. I just think it's an important attitude to have. I think it's important to like have that confidence, and it's important to feel that way about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I always expect the worst, and then but then there's also this like, every once in a while I have to remind myself, like good things are happening. Like, like be thankful for certain things. Like I one time tried to do like a gratitude list, and the entire time I was like, this is fucking stupid. But also, I was like in my head, I was saying this is gay. This is really gay to do, but it was actually helpful.
Yeah, I like gratitude lists a lot. I feel like I tend to feel really defeated with rejection over things, and everyone gets rejected, everyone in this industry, and then you get something, and I feel like you just have to have that faith in yourself and have to have that understanding that like good things are going to happen for you. Like you have to have that. Like look at anyone that is successful, that they just have an underlying belief in themselves, and it is important to have that. And I think about like when I I don't know. I just think about when I'm doing my best is like when I am expecting good things, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, when you feel like natural and comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not, I don't know, that's so like not the mentality that I remember what is it in the song Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yeah.
This like Bone Thugs and Harmony, they rap too fast, you can't understand anything.
Yeah.
But there's this line where it's like prepare for the worst, pray for the best.
Yeah, I feel that. But like, for example, like your don't tell things, like put out good energy. Be like, I expect good things for this. Like, I expect it to go well. I expect it to be well received.
But doesn't that set you up for disappointment?
But it also like puts good energy out there. It sets you up to be.
Yeah, I think that my energy is what's fucked up.
I mean, I feel like it's like you can also of course there's bad things that, but
Sure.
you just like, I expect this to go well.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like you should be like, all right, expect this to be well received. This is going to be good. It's coming out today. My friends are going to all repost it.
Yeah,
like
I was thinking on my way here, I was like, what if he doesn't repost it?
I know,
like,
that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, I've done so much to help that guy out. He's not going to repost it.
But like, you can't even think, like, it's like people will surprise you. Like someone that you don't even think like is, or like a comedian you really look up to is going to
That happens all the time when people will be like, someone who I don't think at all that I'm in, someone they think about.
Yeah.
They repost something or they'll like send me a message.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, what the fuck? Who do you think? You think we're close?
You're like, what?
With that said, I hope that you all, at least, you don't even have to actually share it. You just you hit the button share, and then you hit copy, and
that's
hit
all
like.
that matters.
That's really all that matters,
because it gets to taste it.
It gets the algo going.
We need the algo going. All right, we're gonna pull some tarot cards to end off this podcast.
Hell yeah!
So sorry to the Catholic mom.
That's okay. She actually does think that this is like
sacrilegious
devil shit. Okay,
well,
but she also didn't let me watch Rugrats because they were Jews.
Really?
Yeah.
But then what about the dog's name?
What's the dog's name?
The aunt's dog's name.
What is it?
BB.
Oh, my aunt. Oh, no. That's completely separate. My mom growing up, like she only wanted, like she thought like Saved by the Bell was too salacious for us.
Okay.
And I know I've used that word twice on this podcast. I'm aware of it.
I didn't register it the first time. Will you shuffle these?
Sure. Is there a certain way to shuffle them?
No, just put some energy in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I'm really curious to watch your Don't Tell set after this episode. It comes out in an hour.
I think they posted 3. It could be out right now. I have no idea.
Should we see?
Sure.
Okay, I'll do a little check.
But they, it's like I thought my Don't Tell was coming out last Monday.
Oh my God, what a disappointment, huh?
And then they posted another one. I was like, oh,
you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. And then so I've been clocking what time they come out, and it seems like they're posted around 3.
We're not out yet.
Yeah.
Interesting. No.
But hey, who knows? I could be famous within 2 hours. So.
Could be. And do they post the clip the same day it comes out?
I think they just post the video and like here's who. I don't know. Maybe there is a clip that comes out the same day.
Do they show you the clips first?
They don't show me the clips. They show me the whole video.
And then whatever's clipped is clipped.
And then they asked me what I wanted to be clipped.
Okay.
They're very good at working with the comedian.
Okay, cool.
Like I was talking with Gus Constantinopoulos.
Yeah. Did he do one?
No, but we're both submitting for the Netflix is a Joke Festival.
Oh, same.
And it's so unfair what the video that I'm submitting.
Why?
Because you guys have to submit a video that is like unedited. The standard submission video, unedited.
What are you submitting?
No cuts.
The Don't Tell video?
My manager is submitting my Don't Tell video, which is like, and I want to say very few edits were made, but I had the ability to like pump up laughs if I didn't get a laugh.
Yeah.
I had the ability to like cut out jokes, like switch things around.
To be fair, it is just a submission to audition.
Is it to audition?
Yeah.
Oh. They're going to want me after this, don't tell.
See, expect good things. You're doing it already.
They're going to want me all the way.
No, it's literally a submission for the audition.
That's it?
Yeah. The Netflix introducing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing...
Unless you're getting a straight pass, but that my agent and my manager said it's for the audition.
Oh. Yeah, see, I don't even talk with my manager that much. They started talking to me last month because they're like, oh, I heard you did a Don't Tell.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
You're like, that's cool.
Yeah.
People don't realize that you literally have to get your own rep's attention.
It's so interesting because I was like, once I got signed, but I've been with my guy for years.
Yeah.
But when I got signed, I was like, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
You're like, no, got to keep their attention.
And I've made $0 with them.
You got to keep working hard on your own. Yeah.
I know. And I have, the thing is, like,
you do, but
you have to do it on your own no matter what. The manager does nothing unless you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's kind of the mentality that I've, like, after the known zone stopped being a thing, I was like, all right, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
I have this opportunity with the Don't Tell coming out. I have an
really
opportunity to, like, perhaps I'm going to get a bunch of YouTube followers and subscribers.
Yeah.
And also, if you're listening, subscribe to my YouTube at Wilfred Padua.
And subscribe to this new YouTube page.
Oh, you have Natalie. A new one?
Yeah, for the podcast.
Oh. Yeah, you had it going so good.
I know.
What are you at now?
Less than 500.
Yeah. So are we but we did it for months.
Yeah, and now look at you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. But I think Gotham is awesome. I want to come back here when I can get them a podcast that we can monetize.
Yeah, I think so too. I just want more people to subscribe to my new YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love if more people subscribe to my new YouTube channel.
That's what's tough about I don't know. I'm just going to get into this whole, if I keep going down this path about how like awful it is to be a stand-up and how we have to like, we're also social media managers and all this shit. But
yeah, I honestly, I feel like I have studied social media's ins and outs. I think for me, when I made a magazine over the pandemic and I really like studied social media a lot doing that. Yeah.
And what did you learn?
I don't know. I just like built up the following of the magazine. I made a magazine. I sold like 3 issues of it. I feel like I just like kind of figured it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. You just spend a lot of time on it. You kind of look at what people are doing.
Yeah, yeah. I like have this. I think there was this like part of me that refused to post.
Yeah, you need to drop the
Yeah, I was just like torn because I was like, this is what a comedian is now, but also like ethically, I was like,
ethically, Wilfred, you gotta let it go.
I know, I have.
Who are you trying to? I mean, the only person it's only cringe to you.
Well, it's not even what's cringe. It's more like, what is this doing to the art form? The
art form.
I know that.
What comedian? Like, who are your favorite comedians? They're posting online, or they have someone posting online. The art form, you not posting is not affecting the art form at all, and you posting is not affecting the art form at all.
Yeah.
So just post. People need to see your work.
I know. They got to hear me ask people, "What do you do for work?" You know, how'd you guys meet?
You know what?
How'd you guys meet? It's gonna change my life.
You can be more creative with your questions.
How'd you guys meet is a great question.
Is it?
That's my favorite question to ask.
What's your go-to crowd work question?
That.
No, it's not.
How'd you guys meet? I swear to God.
Why?
Because it's interesting to see how like 2 people come together for me.
But it's always a dating app.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. Yesterday,
or even if it's just friends.
I have to pull your hair, husband. I got so annoyed yesterday. There was a kid in the audience. And because like I was doing this joke that I love, and then these 3 women start talking. So I obviously got distracted, and I was like, what's going on? I'm like, is that a kid? They're like, yes, we're talking about how we have a kid and this is not appropriate because we have our kid with us. And I'm like, okay, why do you have your kid with you?
Yeah.
And they're like, how old is he? They're like 16. I'm like, does he go to school in New York City? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, public school? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so he's smoked pot before. Like he's done blow. Like, Please relax.
He rode the train next to a guy who was washing his feet.
I literally was so angry. I was like, I was like, I grew up in New York City. Did the parents grow up in New York? And they're like, no. And I'm like, that's why you're raising your kid here.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was like, your kid's a drug addict.
Yeah. You're raising a hooligan.
I don't know why people get mad after they bring their kid to a show. It's like, what do you expect?
I think that
they're watching porn. Your kid is watching porn.
That's one of the things that I remember when I was just starting comedy. I was watching some Dane Cook special. It was like I think he was in the round. I don't recall anything of it, but he was swearing a lot. My brother, his daughter was in the room just playing, and he got pissed at me for putting that on while she was there. And he was like, if my kid starts saying these words, I'm going to kick your ass. And I was like, if your kid starts saying these words, you're a bad father. You didn't, because that means that you're not going to address what happened in her life. You're not going to talk to her about like when it's appropriate to say certain words. Yeah. Like, you have to expose kids to shit. They just have to be exposed like and educated at the same time.
Yeah. Especially when you bring a kid to a comedy show, like that's on you.
Yeah, exactly.
You bought the ticket. You walked in. You know what comedy is.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your past, the magician. You're using really fun, powerful card. You've got this is about action, using all of the elements. You know, you've got fire, water, earth, air. You're traveling all over, just acting quick.
All right.
Then we have the Four of Pentacles. Oh, here it is to the camera. And we have the Four of Pentacles.
What is that for?
This is money, and this is like you have money. You're getting some money right now, but don't let it get to your head. You know, you get the Stone Tell set. Don't let it get to your head, but definitely appreciate it and be good.
Okay.
Okay. Then your future.
That's interesting. I don't feel like I have money, but go ahead.
It's like material things. And then this, it's the Two of Wands is, we will consult the magic book for the future.
Oh, is it because you don't know what it is? Or?
No, it's because the book is so magic. I had a high thought actually about this. It's determination and direction. So now, after all of this, you're on a clear path to success.
Yeah.
You're bouncing around doing comedy 12 years. Now you've got the success of, you've got a taping under your belt. Now the path is clear. Your direction is clear. Wands are creativity, they're inspiration, You're focused on a goal and you've boldly pointed all efforts in that direction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a good reading.
Oh, that's the whole thing.
Well, I could look more detailed into the book. Let's see.
Well, I don't know. So go back to this magician guy.
Okay, we'll go through everyone. The magician. What do you want to know about him? Everything?
I don't know how long is. Let me see how long the
it's a paragraph.
is.
You want to read it? You read it.
I'll read it.
I like that.
The magician is a card of boundless. I'm going to read it all like
fancy.
Yeah. The magician is a card of boundless, expansive energy, whereas many of the major arcana. Whereas many of the major arcana deal with stillness or aspects of the mind, this card is all about action, action, action. It's time to see yourself as the wildcat. Embrace his speed, grace, and abilities. Don't be afraid to begin. You have the power of all four elements within your reach. Now is the time to use them. Yes,
you must open up, talk about your life on stage.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being my past, it's like it's like saying like I have enough to work with.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Where's this? Find that one.
Okay.
I've been working on my reading out loud.
You are crushing it.
I used to hate it. There it is.
Okay, good.
Four of Pentacles. And this is my present?
Yes.
This is what I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
The Four of Pentacles first suggests material gain and stability. Only good news for your bank account and home. Yet underneath the surface, this is a card of warning. Do not become possessive or controlling. Holding on too tightly to the material world will leave you rigid, stagnant, and displeasing to others. Wealth is a concept. So I still don't, I'm trying to like look at how little, my bank account.
So don't be too attached to the outcome, maybe. Just,
Got it. Okay.
Just be like, oh, it's not about the outcome.
Who cares about money?
I mean, don't be so attached to the outcome. Just be like, I'm putting it out there. I'm trying to share myself.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, then we'll do the two of wands. All right. Yeah. I feel like you do have a lot of control. You're bottled up sometimes.
There is a lot of
and you can't be so controlling of so bottled up. You got to share yourself with the world. They want Wilfred.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
I'll put it out there. All right. Two of Wands, determination, direction. With the Two of Wands, it's clear you're on your way to success. You focused on a goal and have boldly pointed all efforts in that direction. Since the Suit of Wands deals heavily with the mind, take this time to become aware of your thought patterns, specifically toward yourself. What is the quality and tone of your thoughts? Mostly positive or negative? How well do you treat yourself on the journey to your highest dreams?
See, you need to treat yourself better on your journey.
I know.
Your negative self-talk.
That is like...
Too critical of yourself.
Every time I can't write a joke, I'm like, fucking write a joke. But that's not the mentality that makes you feel funny and creative.
But it does say you're on the right path. I mean, this is good.
Yeah. Maybe I'm going to be a real career mover.
I feel like this don't tell set's going to change everything.
Okay. I hope so.
This is very good.
I hope so.
I'm thinking a viral clip. At the very least.
It would be disappointing me if none of my clips could go viral. A
clip will go viral.
Okay.
It will.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the energy.
I'll share one.
Oh, thanks, Natalie.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
I will share one.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
Better be funny. No, I'm kidding.
I'll share like this 10-second portion.
All right, Wilfred, thanks for coming on. Where can people find you?
At Wilfred Padua on everything. I'm assuming you'll spell it out.
Okay.
And subscribe to my YouTube. There's a podcast, a history podcast that's coming soon. And follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm posting now.
Yes.
I'm putting clips out there. Not at the right times. I'm just trying to, I put one out yesterday morning on a Sunday. What a dumbass.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I just needed to, I feel like need to feed the algorithm.
Yeah.
In preparation for the Don't Tell.
Yeah.
So, at Wilfred Padua on everything. Stay tuned for this history podcast. I even bought sound panels for my office.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting stuff. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please subscribe at Help with Natalie on YouTube. Like, comment, and we have a fourth wall, which is like a Patreon where you can find bonus episodes. That's helpwithnatalie.com. You can also find merch on there.
The merch is cool as shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.